A seldom known fact about me is that I was a world champion at hide and seek. It's true. See, every summer my family, we would go down to this small camp that we had. It was in this cove where there was a bunch of other families and kids that lived there. And every night, us kids would get together and we'd play this modified version of hide and seek. You see, I was very good at this part. I would hide anywhere. I would dive into the darkest spots I could find. I'd hide in the mud. I'd hide in a tight spot. I'd submerge myself in water if I had to, just to win. But the thing is though, is just because you were found doesn't mean that you're out, because in our version of the game, you had to be tagged too. So you had a chance to run like hell from the seeker and hopefully vanish again into another spot. The thing is though, as good as I was at this game, I never stopped playing it. Matter of fact, as an adult, I perfected it even more. You see, now my hiding spots had changed. I started to hide behind fancy clothes, fancy job, fancy salary, but my favorite spot to hide behind was a fancy smile. I didn't want you to know what was going on underneath. And the thing is, if you were lucky enough to get close to me, I would run like hell from you too. But my real fear was that it would be you who would run from me if you saw what was behind my masks. My hurt, my anger, my brokenness, my flaws. Eventually I got so good at hiding, I couldn't even find myself. The thing is that I learned over time is that there were many other people out there that were masters at this game. And there are a lot of you watching this that are exceptionally skilled at this game. And now if that call out irritates you, then this talk is definitely for you. You see, I have this belief statement that I've developed and I believe in, is that you need to live life aligned by your values, your values. That is what I call living with a courageous heart. But the problem is so many people live life aligned by the values that have been defined by others and society. And it usually is a well-intentioned group of people in a well-intentioned society that tells you how to dress, how to talk, what job you should have, who you should marry, how many kids you should have, what your salary should be. It tells you to play small because you know what? Showing up as you is just too much for some people to be with. The thing is if you check off all these boxes that society and others tell you to be in, why is it that myself and so many others I know feel unfulfilled in life? Without purpose. At the end of the day, they feel like they're just not good enough. Checking off all the boxes for me said that I should be happy, but why was it that I felt so starved for something else in life? Something with purpose. But the thing was, I had so many well-intentioned people in my life that said, dude, you should be grateful. You've got a great house. You've got a great job. Years later, they would say, you can't change careers. You've got a family to provide for. It would just be selfish for you to want anything more. I should be happy. I've got all these things going on for myself, but what you don't see is behind closed doors, I've got crippling, curled up in a ball, crying anxiety, depression, strong addictive behaviors. This is when I'm drinking 15 cans of Red Bull a day plus 60 milligrams of Adderall just to keep myself going. Strong addictive behaviors. Matter of fact, my favorite addiction is praise. Praise. Praise was my very first addiction. At a very early age, I developed this addiction. I seek praise from teachers, from family, from adults, from coaches, mentors, everybody I could, because it made me feel valued and loved. And as an adult, it got even worse. I seek praise in my career, from my employer, from my boss, from my peers. I worked nonstop. 25 nights a month I would travel. I'd answer emails at 2 a.m. in the morning if I had to. Anything to get recognition, promotions, salary, all of those things. I missed so many opportunities in my life. I missed birthday parties, funerals, anniversaries, special events, you name it, just for the name of praise. I allowed my career to define my value in life. From what you could see, I was doing amazing in life. Everything looked like it was going really well. But why was it at the age of 30, I was ready to take my own life? I was at a point in life where I was inviting some pretty toxic people into it. People that were manipulating me, that I allowed to manipulate me. And in response to that, I manipulated and hurt others too. These people made me feel really good about myself, but then and other times they'd make me feel awful. And I did a lot of things in response to that I'm ashamed of. I made a lot of mistakes. I wasn't a good person in life. Things that I needed to find a way to find forgiveness later on. So there I was in this moment where I felt so unlovable in life that I was ready to take my own life. So I'm in this fancy hotel wearing this fancy suit, and I'm gonna down a bottle of pills. I'm gonna wash it down too with some energy drinks. I wanted my heart to explode. That was the whole point, because it wasn't worth loving anymore. So there I was on the bathroom floor, just sobbing. And then I heard it. My iPod in the background was playing my favorite song. It was a cover of Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah. And there's something about that moment. It was that song. It was just the second half of the first verse that I could hear so clearly. It goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor four, and the major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah. It was that moment when it was like I heard God himself tell me, I'm not done with you yet. You're not done. And the thing was, in that moment in life, I was pretty pissed at God, but I believed in that statement. It was a very defining moment for me. I purged everything out of me in that moment until there was nothing left in that basement. It set me off on a boot camp of self-discovery, what Joseph Campbell would call a call to adventure in the hero's journey, and I answered it. I started group work. I got a therapist that called me out on my stuff. I did self-care for the first time in ages. I left my job. I stood up to some bullies, and I started to figure out what it meant to live life with a courageous heart. Now, there were 4 really defining themes in my life that allowed me to get to where I am today. And the first one was stop being a victim. If you are choosing to hang on to the hurts and wrongdoings of others, you're not going to move onward in life. And I get a lot of people that say, Matt, that sounds great and all, but my situation is different. No, it's not. It's not different. By choosing to believe in that, you're choosing to hang on to your past, and you're choosing not to move forward in life. It's not going to happen. You have to let go of these things. The second thing is really important to me, and that's you have to rediscover your values. I believe in not reinventing yourself, but rediscovering yourself, because your values have always been there. You just forgot about them. So how do we find these values? You think back to a time in life when everything was perfect, this snapshot in time, the first thing you can think of, and I guarantee you those moments are alive and well. Maybe you were into photography or writing, being in nature, playing music, volunteering with others. Think about those times. What did those activities offer you? How did they evoke the best in you? You see, our values are like tanks. They're like empty tanks. And if you know what your values are, you can run for miles on those things. They're sustainable burning fuel. They bring out the best in you. If you don't know what those values are, you're going to fill those tanks with crap that doesn't belong there. That's when we get in trouble in life. That's when you get into addictive behaviors, alcohol, pornography, buying things, eating things just to feel good inside. But you know what? It's going to empty just as quickly as you fill them. So if you can figure out what those things are, you're going to go places. For me, I've got a big value on nature. And so if I can spend some time outside, if I can spend a moment working by a window, I don't have to be hiking a mountain. I'll tell you what, it'll make me better. So I create time for those things instead of just trying to white knuckle through life just to make work better or this work. Make time for your values. The third theme that was really, really important, is probably one of the hardest things, is not everybody's going to be happy for you. Not everyone's going to be thrilled that you've discovered yourself and you've found this new path in life. But you can't hate on these people. You know why? Because you sold them on a version of you that you were being in life, this mask you were wearing. That's why they connected with you. They were attracted to that version of you. And now that you've changed that, now that you've taken that mask off, it's all right if they don't align with you anymore. It's understandable. The moment you choose to let go of those individuals is the moment you can start seeing new people show up in your life that do align with your values. You have to create that space, and it's scary because you're going to feel alone at first. You're going to be on your own, and that's a good thing to learn what that's like. But new people will show up. The fourth theme that's so important that I had to realize was this is a journey and not an overnight transformation. There's no magic pill in this. It's going to feel great in the beginning, this honeymoon phase. Look at me, I've got this. But you know what? You're going to get tired. It's exhausting. You know why so many people don't do this? Is because it's hard. It's really hard. You're going to have to face some pain in life that you haven't dealt with in a long time or you've buried. There are going to be moments where you feel alone in life. There are going to be moments where it feels like you're defying what's logical and going against the well-intentioned guidance of others in society. But guess what? You're on your way. You keep driving, you keep pushing, you be relentless. And it's going to take you to a place of transformation and fulfillment and purpose. Look, you don't think that it was all sunshine and rainbows for me after my big defining moment, because it wasn't. It was just the beginning. It's taken years of hard work to undo some of the insecurities that I've had. But I'm on my way, and I've still made plenty of mistakes I'm not proud of along the way. But you know what? I've been relentless in it, and I'm living a life that I am so proud of right now. I've made a lot of changes, and I know you will too. So here's the thing. Our values act as a compass. They help you get back on track. When I start finding myself going off kilter in life, I look at my values and figure out which one am I not honoring right now. I've got good people in my life right now that will pull me and help pull me out of the shadows when I'm struggling. It is my compass, and it helps me find my true north again. Your values will do the same for you. So look, I'm proud that I'm awful at hide and seek now. I'm terrible at it because you know why? I don't want to hide anymore. I'm proud to be found. I'm proud to be seen. Because if I choose to be seen, you know what? I'm choosing myself, choosing to be available for others to find me that also align with my values and I align with theirs. I made a bold choice in 2014 that went against the guidance of well-intentioned people in society. I left the only job that I've ever known, and I started to pursue something that aligned with my purpose and values, and I became a life coach. I got educated and certified in this, and I went and did something that aligned with my purpose and turned it into my career. And I'm so glad I did. It changed my life, and now I'm using it to change the life of others. It's what's allowed me to be here now and serve with this message. So I ask you, and I challenge you, what would your life be like if you took the time to rediscover your values and started to go against the guidance of well-intentioned others in society? What would happen if you started to go against the judgment of others? It's a huge moment in your life, and I challenge you on that. I know my life purpose. I know my statement. It is, I am the courageous heart that passionately beats to serve and empower the hurt, broken, and lost. That is who I am, and that's why I get up every day. I challenge you to live unapologetically, aligned by your values. That's what I call living with a courageous heart.